true, hindsight is always 2020. And so if I was beginning today my art practice, my study to become the best artist I can be, what do I think are the most important things to do? How would I approach it? I think first and foremost, you have to identify what you're attracted to. Find the genre of art, find the group of artists, find the movement, the style that fits your attitude, that fits your personality. Art is for everybody, and there's something in the history of art that speaks to each one of us. And I think if you're like me and you like figurative art, I think you're naturally going to gravitate towards the late 1800s, early 1900s, some of the masters that existed at that time. And there's so many resources for studying their methods and their methodologies and how they learned. Was it size? Was it comparative measurement? Was it direct painting on canvas? There's so many different ways to approach style, substance, and learning that it can be overwhelming and confusing if you're just starting out. So I recommend you find your penultimate North Star. Who do you gravitate towards? What style you gravitate towards? Find that. Create a folder on your desktop. Put in all of the art that you like. Focus on drawings at first. Find artists that could draw. Find things you admire. And then trace their lineage. Trace their schooling. How did they train? Was it atelier system? Was it the academic system? What was it? So as we begin to move forward and we've identified the style that we like, what fits our personality, what's going to allow us the best opportunity and chance for success, then we can move forward with actual practice. And I recommend developing a personal curriculum. It's one of the things that I was very lucky to be able to do fairly quickly in my study within the first 6 months. The Loomis method was part of it. Online videos are part of it. Yeah, I know that a lot of people are going to look for the most economical route to go with, and the Loomis books are all in PDF form, free online. So I recommend going there first if you're looking for the most economical way. But for me, I also signed up for Watts Atelier, their online program, and I really enjoyed the drawing program. I think it really elevated my work in the last 6 months, almost as much or more than anything, because you watch somebody who has such great skill draw, and you embed that into your head, what it looks like, and then you can take that into your own practice and develop your own curriculum based on what you're learning through that atelier, other ateliers, other school systems. It could be, the bark plates, whatever it might be. But, being a self-learner, it's going to be up to you primarily to develop your own system, your own curriculum. It's really depends on how much you put into it is how much you're going to get out of it. I think, if I could go back and do it again, I think I would have started that a little bit earlier, maybe even right up front, and just go through the system, whether that's Watts Atelier. I know Proko has some really nice videos online, and I've watched a few of those, and those would be very helpful, especially in relation to the Loomis method. Perspective, so he also has a lot of great teachers on there that provide a lot of not just inspiration, but professional quality instruction. So that's another place I would go. I might look for different opportunities and options at community colleges. I know there's some around the country that have some good instructors. There's private schools. There's things that are a lot more economical for the average person, for the average student, that could benefit greatly to enhance self-learning. But being what I consider a self-taught artist at this point, because 20 years later, after a photography career, I can't say that I was any sort of draftsman or any sort of traditional artist in the sense that I could sit down and draw and paint. I couldn't. And it's one thing I had to learn again, relearn again. And having experience there does help. It did help, even though that experience came years ago. I can say that I didn't start without any base of knowledge. So at the beginning, you want to really build up all of your base, your foundational skills, the things that are going to carry you through as art becomes harder and more difficult. Because as you progress, as you do longer settings, as you do more complex work, it does become more difficult. And with a great foundation, the difficulties are, I would say, less intimidating and even more achievable. Your goals are more achievable with a good foundation. So make sure at the first that you are studying logically, that you're studying in a disciplined manner and with some sense of direction. So now that you've got your inspiration, the people that you want to draw like, the people that you want to, let's say, emulate, and this could be contemporary artists as well. But for me, most of the figurative work that I like existed at the turn of the 20th century in that era. So that's who I generally default to as my heroes. So find those people, build your base, find a good self-education curriculum, build that. And I think the last thing that I would recommend is to stick to it. It's a long haul. I've been doing this for 2 years now, almost on a daily basis. The first 6 months were a little more inconsistent, but almost on a daily basis, I was drawing or studying when it came to like the Loomis method, especially because when you're learning how to construct heads, you're really not drawing. At the very first, you don't have much satisfaction of, I would say, getting completed pieces. You're just building up, like I said, your foundation to then go on and move on to more complex and completed pieces. Sticking with it, having the discipline to understand that this is a long haul. Just now at 2 years, I really feel like I have as much skill as I've ever had as an artist. I'm moving into painting. Painting is, for me, so much like drawing that it makes me thankful for the amount of time that I did spend drawing and learning traditionally in that way before I began my painting experience. I don't want to say it made it easier, but it's easier to understand form, shape, light, those sort of things. So it's 3 easy steps. It's not complicated, it just takes discipline. I believe that anybody can do it. I'm just a guy. I don't have any special skills, any special talent. I just have a desire to be a great artist, the best artist that I can be. Great in my own mind, but not, I have no desire to be great to the outside world. I want to push myself to see how far I can go and how far I can take things personally. And I think that should be the true North Star of every aspiring artist. Do it for yourself. Do what you love. Do it every day. Be grateful that you have the opportunity to do it every day. And don't ever give up. I thank you for following me, watching me, liking and sharing my videos. Please subscribe if you haven't. I look forward to being on this adventure with you for the next months and years to come. We're growing together. We're going to get there together. And as always, I thank you for watching.